Hey, what's going on? My name is Avi. How are you today? It is absolutely beautiful out here. I just feel so lucky to be out here in Alameda, California right now. Wow. I'm sure you could feel in that sigh, man. There's some serious catharsis that just happened. Like, I just felt like a wave of like chills going across my body. Literally so beautiful. I mean, look at this yard right here. Isn't this just incredible? Beautiful, the sun's shining, it's warm, and we're in November. We're in the beginning of November. This is why I live in the Bay Area. It's just incredible how stunning the weather is, and in a time of year where most places are just covered in snow. So anyway, without further ado, today I'd like to talk about friendship. Something that is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful things on this planet. Just crossing the street right now. I gotta make sure we're good to go. But anyway, friendship, one of the most beautiful things on this planet, if not the most beautiful in our preciously short time here on the planet as human beings. I want to start off with a story from when I was 18, just going off to college. And I'm going to talk about my best friend at the time, who really, I've only had two friendships that have blown up in my life, and unfortunately were irreconcilable. This was the first of those two. So I'm going to call him John just to conceal his identity. But John and I met when we were in Little League. We played baseball together, and we weren't super close back then, but we were aware of each other. And then when we got into high school, our paths kind of crossed again because we both quit baseball around the same time. We kind of were just like done with the whole competitive river, all of your weekends going to tournaments, always trying to be the best. And before you know, it's a slippery slope. Before you know, your whole life is dedicated to this thing. You lose sight of who you are, and other parts of your life get neglected, right? I didn't date very much in high school at all because of how competitive I was with baseball. I didn't really I didn't take my academics as seriously as I could have, even though I did well on a performance level. I just didn't really give as much of a fuck. And also I neglected, most importantly, friendships. So coming back to the original theme, John and I ended up becoming really good friends. And at that time, after we had quit baseball, we were really aligned with wanting to explore those other areas of our lives that had been neglected, like dating, like socializing, like having a hobby other than baseball. And we just found a lot of camaraderie in that shared personal growth. It was really important for both of us to maximize our development and be the best that we could be. And we really found like not just alliance in that, because alliance sounds very rational and void of emotion. It was a kinship. Like I really loved John as a friend. He was just absolutely incredible, and I felt so much stronger with him in my life and just by my side, like someone I knew that no matter what I was going through, I could talk about it with him and explore my emotions with him and what was going on and get a fresh take. He was really intelligent. I could get his perspective on it and ultimately come to greater and wiser answers with him than I could have on my own. And that was the first time I really started to see and feel and experience in real time the true meaning of friendship and how beautiful a friendship can be when both people really are committed to it and aligned. We had the additional thing of just, we were aligned in our interests, right? At that time, since we had both just quit baseball, I started exploring guitar and singing and my passion for heavy metal vocals, which continues to this day. We both were really into physique training. I'm still interested in, I'm hugely passionate about fitness, but physique has kind of taken a back door. I still, of course, who doesn't want to look good, right? That's not what I mean by that. I just mean in the sense that, like, I have other strength goals, functionality goals. Like I want to be able to play on the ground with my nieces and nephews. It's about health, longevity, etc. But point is, like, we started really doubling down. So we were going to the gym together. He wasn't into the heavy metal stuff, of course, but he had his own hobbies, and I was supporting him with his hobbies. He was really into magic tricks. So I was supporting him with that. He was supporting me with my stuff. And where we really came together was in our cluelessness of how to talk to women. We had just become completely inept. I mean, every high schooler, for the most part, is inept with talking to the opposite sex, but we were especially inept because we had all those years where we weren't doing shit, or even really trying to talk to girls because we had our heads up our baseball bat, so to speak, as my dad used to joke around and say. So because of that, we were clueless with it. And kind of our first order of business after we stopped playing baseball was like, hey, what in our lives is something we're horrible at and really need a lot of work? And we both just looked at each other and went, yeah, we don't know anything about talking to girls. So like the intrepid high schoolers we were, we got a pickup artist book. I'm not even gonna say what book it was because it's just that fucking embarrassing. But if you've been around pickup artist stuff, I'm sure you can guess like what book it was. It was one of the most popular pickup books, really ever, but especially at the time. And we just were fools. We started going to malls on the weekend and trying out these pickup lines and just embarrassing the shit out of ourselves. Like, I had no idea what I was fucking doing at all. I mean, some of these lines were just ridiculous. Like, I mean, this is just really embarrassing, but I'll tell you one of them. It was like, hey, do you know me? And then they're like, no. And you're like, well, you do now. And it's just like, oh my God, like cringe to the fucking max, right? Just absolute cringe. Looking back, this shit's hilarious. And I was even so cringe that I like would bring a mic so that I could record and then analyze myself afterwards so that I could improve. Oh man. Anyway, John and I went to the mall many times for probably like our entire senior year because we quit baseball the summer before senior year of high school. So our whole senior year, pretty much every single weekend, instead of going to baseball tournaments, we were in the malls and randomly approaching girls. Yeah, and it did not work out most of the time. Every now and then, though, we would get a date, and before you knew it, like, we started to get a little bit of experience, such that by the second half of the year, you know, we started getting rejected less and less, and it really started to work out. But it was also around that time that I discovered, to this day, one of the most influential books for me in my life, which is Models by Mark Manson. And I started going down the route of just being myself around girls. And that's a whole nother fucking video. I want to save that for another video because that's like a really big transformation. Because all the pickup artist stuff, the whole thesis of the pickup artist thing is what you've been doing up to this point hasn't worked. Therefore, you're not enough as you are. Therefore, you need to change into something else to attract women. So you forego your beautiful self for some fake ass thing that you think is going to help you get into women's pants a little bit more effectively. And it's very problematic, right? Because even if you do attract a woman with that approach, eventually your true emotions, your true self is going to show through, and that other person's going to be very disappointed and probably angry that you did that, right? So that's a problem. And I'm actually going to cross. Time to cross. Actually, no, I'm just going to head back. I love this street so much. I'm just going to walk back on it because it's that fucking glorious. Okay, where the hell were we? We were talking about... Right. Oh, yes. The pickup artist stuff. Yeah, so pickup artist stuff is just all about, you know, do what you gotta do to get laid, basically. And it's not about being yourself. Ah, right, that's where I was. That if you be yourself, or if you don't be yourself and you just do these pickup artist lines or whatever, eventually that other person's gonna be pretty pissed off and disappointed because they're like, this isn't the person I became attracted to. This isn't the person I fell for. So anyway, cutting to the chase here, you know, John and I were super aligned and we just had a ball. We were best friends and we really intended to be best friends forever. I think I can speak for the both of us that at that time we really saw that as a lifetime connection. We ended up going to college together and rooming together. And it's unfortunate our relationship didn't even last 2 months through the start of college. Basically what happened was, I think looking back, John was unfortunately a bit of a mama's boy. And I don't mean that critically. I just mean that in the sense that like his parents did everything or nearly everything for him when he was a high schooler or senior year of high school. Whereas my mom had me making my own breakfast at, you know, second grade. And I was making my breakfast and lunch by fourth grade. And I was helping cooking dinner in 6th grade, my mom taught me like laundry, yada, yada. Like I had to do chores around the house. I had a chore sheet. John, unfortunately, didn't have any of that. So when we went to college, and all of a sudden, like, college is like adult light. You're not full adult. You're not like making your own money. I mean, for me at least, I think for a lot of people, and kudos to if you're one of them, a lot of people who put themselves through college, yeah, serious kudos. That wasn't me. I was just a privileged white male. My grandma had set aside money for me to go to college. So it's like adult light, right? I wasn't working. I was just there to do school. But you're adult light because you're on your own. You're away from your parents. I was 70 miles away from my parents' house. So it was like my first real taste of, yeah, having to have my own emotional independence and working through things on my own, not coming home to my parents' house, not coming home to my beloved childhood dog, Zoopy. Shout out fucking Zoopy. I love Zoopy. Fuck. I miss Zoop. We call him the Zoop. Oh, he was the best. Anyway, though, yeah, it was really hard on John. Really, really hard to just be away from home and, yeah, not have his parents doing stuff. And he started going out with guys and coming back at like 3 a.m. drunk. I still don't drink. I didn't drink back then. I would maybe have like, when I turned 21, I had like a drink, right? It's never appealed to me for a lot of different reasons. It's another video, but staying on track here, John really started to kind of lose it. And I think that, I was really doubling down on a lot of the stuff that we were passionate about at that time, right? Like I was still going to the malls, trying to hit up girls. And I was also like hitting up girls at the college campus. We had a YouTube channel at the time I was working together with him on, and then he just gave up, but I kept it going. I was doubling down on like guitar and singing. So I was really investing in myself. And I think this was a mirror reflecting back at him that he wasn't continuing to do that. And that brought up a lot of inner rage for him. And then we had a lot of tension brewing. He was very quiet. He was withdrawing. It was really tough. And I tried to reach out to him and be like, hey man, like, I'm really sorry, but I can see you're hurting. Is there anything I can do? And I think like, yeah, it got tense. It got tense, and I'm not going to sit here and say I was a fucking perfect saint either. I wasn't. I could get upset when he would come back at 3 a.m. and he broke multiple of my water bottles because his arms would be flailing around and like he was just out of control. He was drunk and he would like knock my water bottle off the dresser and fucking break, those plastic blender bottles. I don't drink from those anymore. I prefer stainless steel. But back then I was doing those. So he'd knock it off, it would fucking break. And it's like, oh my God, dude, shit got annoying. I'd have to replace like 2 or 3 of those things. And they're not super cheap, especially for a college student, and I still paid for my own shit. Like that kind of stuff, my parents were like, you're on your own. So, it's my own money. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like I don't want to pay for that shit. And yeah, so we definitely had our share of arguments. And finally it just came to a head one day. Yeah, I was like playing guitar and he was just like, like you could like play another time. And I was like, oh man, like I'm really sorry. Like I thought you were going to be out of this time, but this is like the only time I can play today. And like, I'm trying to keep it down. Like, do you want me to turn it down a little bit? And then he just started cussing me on. He's just like, dude, like I don't even remember. It's been so long. But he's just like, all you ever think about is yourself. And, you're just fucking wasting your time. You suck at guitar anyway. And like, why are you even doing that? Like, you should be focused on your schooling. And I don't know. It was just like it was a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, it was just a lot of stuff like that. So yeah, that was kind of like big argument number 1. And then it got even worse about a week later because he started a fight with me. He was overhearing me. I was like low-key gossiping, not gonna lie. Like, and I don't fuck with gossip anymore, and I'm not proud of this. But I was basically talking to another guy about how he was knocking off the water bottles when he would come in drunk. And again, I should not have done this. Like, it's not good. It's not good to gossip. So, I do carry shame about that. But, it's something I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect, and all I can do is learn from it. But anyway, I have to own that. I did gossip, and he overheard it, and he was a boxer. So he started getting angry, and I was fucking afraid. I was afraid shitless. Thought this guy was about to just knock my teeth out. And yeah, I really I really did think he was going to do that, not going to lie. But he tried to, and I actually dodged the punch. So he threw a punch, I dodged it, and the RA, the resident advisor for the building, actually happened to see that happening. And the dude was just like, in my office now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So we go into his office, and John just immediately gets kicked out of the dorm. And I spent the rest of the year just living in my room solo. They were supposed to give me another roommate, they never did. So I just was solo, and I spent so many months trying to salvage that friendship. And I think coming back to you, the message I want to give to you is like, I really wanted to own my mistakes and reconcile with John and just be like, dude, like, I don't even care about my fucking ego anymore. I don't care about being right. I just want to be your friend again. Like, I admit I fucked up. I did whatever I did. But yeah, he just didn't want any part of it, man. He gave it up. And I think, you know, at the time I was so sad, and I was so angry that he didn't want to give it a second chance. But I think now I really empathize, man. I really empathize with people who just close the door on friendship, because if you're in a position in your life where you're closing the door on something as beautiful as friendship, dude, like, you're in a dark place, man. Because I think friendship is like, other than maybe loving an animal, I think friendship is like the closest that we ever get to unconditional love on this planet. Like, it really is. I mean, contrast it with like a romantic relationship. Romance, like, yeah, you love your partner, but it's also so, there's always fear to some extent. I don't even mean like high grade. I mean like the lowest possible thing, because you have to align your life. If you're in a monogamous relationship that's committed, even doubly so if you're trying to build a family, right? You have to have certain things aligned, right? Finances, where you live, values, and how you're raising the kids. In so many ways, we see our romantic partners as an extension of ourselves. So if they behave like in a certain way that doesn't align with our sense of self, it causes anxiety and fear in us. Like, and then that makes us want to control our partner, even to a small extent, to kind of get them back in line so that we feel safe. And those of us who are mature, I struggle with this. I've been controlling in the past in romantic relationships. Those of us who are mature are able to realize that in real time and be like, oh, like, it's okay for them to be who they are. Like, they are my partner. They are a reflection of who they are, but I love and trust them, and they're entitled to be who they are. But there's always that element of like, you only get one partner. We want them to be a reflection of who we are. It's fucking scary, dude. It's fucking scary. And sometimes we let that fear get the best of us, and we don't love unconditionally. We love, it's almost like, I'll love you as long as you continue to conform to like what I need you to be to make me feel safe, and what I need you to be to make me look good with my friends and family and in my social structures or whatever. Whereas with friendship, it's not like that at all. Like, I'm not trying to live with you if we're friends. Like, generally, I mean, that's another thing, right? I've never lived with a friend since Jesse. But it's like, you're not trying to live with them. You're not trying to merge your life. You're not trying to merge your finances. All you need to do is just love them. That's it. It's no fucking expectations. You can just love them exactly who they are. You don't have to do anything different. They don't have to do anything different. If they go out and take shrooms all fucking weekend, you don't give a shit. Why would you? It doesn't have anything to fucking do with you. That's just their life. And I think when there's this ego separation between your life and their life, you can just be like, I love you. I love you exactly as you are. I love you exactly as you are. You don't need to be anything different. You want to fucking go and do that? Go and fucking do that. You want to go and stand on your head for 2 hours? Go and do that. It doesn't make a difference to me. I'm still going to love you. So if there's someone that isn't able to see that is such a fucking beautiful thing. Fuck. Like, man, empathize with them, and also have compassion for yourself. If you're going through that, or if you've gone through that in the past where you lost a near and dear friend, man, I feel for you. I really, really just want to say that. Like, I feel for you so hard. It's so difficult to lose a near and dear friend, especially if it's a best friend, someone that you really were just like thicker than thieves, man. Like, you talk about everything with them, and you just know it's like that safe space. You can always talk about anything with it. I just feel for you, man. I feel for them that they can't see how beautiful that was, that they were willing to trash it and throw it away. And I know you feel a lot of anger if you've been in a situation like that, and let yourself feel that anger. But also, like, I encourage you to just, over time, just realize they're the one, that it's their loss, and feel for them, empathize with them. Like, it's their loss in the end that they threw away that beautiful friendship, man. Because another thing that's so beautiful about friendship is because we can have infinite of them compared to like the typical monogamous relationship thing where you only get one romantic partner. It's just a paradox of choice thing, right? When you only have one romantic partner, of course you're going to put more pressure and constraint and limitations and need it to be your everything and need it to make you feel super duper safe. So they have to conform to your behavioral expectations so you feel safe. There's going to be way more of that element because there's only one. You can only have one, right? When you have 5 friends, let's say like I've got like 4 really close friends, that pressure is divided amongst those 4 friends. So not only is the pressure reduced because of that, but also the pressure is reduced because of the thing we talked about earlier, where you don't have to align your life with them. They're doing their own thing. It's not the same as merging your life with a romantic partner and how they're an extension of your identity and all that shit. So for both of those standpoints, the fact that you can have more than one friend and the freedom to not have to merge your life with them, both of those factors make it so that you're just that much closer to unconditional love within the context of a friendship compared to a romantic relationship. And that's not to say that romance isn't amazing. I'm a huge fan of romance, obviously. I love it. Who the fuck doesn't? Who's going to shit on romance? But friendship is so fucking critical. So fucking critical. It's seriously, I think it's like the most beautiful thing ever, if not one of the most beautiful. So if you got someone in your life who is willing to throw your friendship down the drain over like some petty fucking argument or even a big argument, I think you just got to let them go, empathize with them, and find someone else who is intelligent and wise enough to see just how beautiful that is and treasure the gift that you are in their life. Make sure that everyone who's in your life you cherish and they cherish you. Your time on this planet is way too short to waste it with people that don't value you. So that's what I'll leave you with today. Yeah, don't take your friends for granted. Go and tell each of your friends why you cherish them, why you're grateful for them. Reflect on it, meditate on it, cherish them every single day and what they bring into your life, the love, the safety, the courage, the comfort, the reliability, the trust. Everything they provide you, just cherish that. And cherish that is the nature of friendship that allows it to be that unconditional, that allows all those virtues to be so unconditional and so unadulterated in their magnificence. So that's it. I'm going to leave you with that. It's a beautiful walk. I'm almost home, a couple blocks. And my intention was to film pretty much the whole walk. So almost mission accomplished. But really the mission is, if we can just spread love, kindness, and appreciation for that beautiful unconditional love known as friendship, then we're all a little bit better off. So go and make the world a better place. Go and shine bright. Go and be a good friend to someone else and cherish their friendship towards you. Peace.